going on? What's happening? Welcome back to the Millennial Masterclass podcast for episode 8. Hey, it's that Kobe number. You know what it is. It's the infinity sign. Talk about it.
Kobe.
So many damn things. I love it. I'm 1/3 of the collective, one of your hosts. They call me Tris. They call me Tristan. They call me Lottie Dottie some places, but that's, in some circles. But we're going to throw it down to Texas and see what's good there.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl Les, aka LRL, chilling in Temple, trying to regain some strength and some rest. You already know the 254. What it do? What's going on with you, Sean? How's Australia?
How is it down under? Blood? Sheila?
That's where I wish I was. But what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Sean the Don, and I am currently in Florida. I wish I was in Australia.
Actually, Sean, let's start there. Can you tell people that story? Can you please tell people that story?
Gosh.
Please tell the people that story because it's hilarious. It's the reason that we're taping on this day, actually. So please tell them. Please tell them.
Because I ended up in Florida, so y'all know I just do shit on the fly. And a week and a half ago, maybe I brought flight to come see my friend from home, Shabrana in Florida.
Hey, girl.
But she was going to be spending Thanksgiving by herself. And I'm like, oh, girl, I'll just come down there. We can spend it alone together. So we're looking to try to get some flights. And I'm checking hella websites since I'm so last minute trying to get the best deal. And she's like, oh, well, you can fly into, what is it, Melbourne Airport? So I type it in. I'm like, what the fuck? These prices are crazy. And I'm like, we're going back and forth on the phone. I'm like, wait a minute, bitch. I'm looking up Melbourne, Australia. How the hell?
But then, wait a minute. What was the crazy part about it? Didn't the flights?
The Australia flights were cheaper than the Florida flights.
Cheaper than the Florida flights. So I'm like, bro,
how is it cheaper to fly?
Doesn't make sense.
17
I
hours.
get into it. I'm like, wait a minute. Does this all say Australia? Hold on.
I'm still.
I think I noticed at the duration of the flight. Wait a minute.
I'm still of the opinion you should be in Australia right now. You and your homegirl should have just went to Australia.
We should have just fucking went. That's way cheaper. We should.
I hear Melbourne's really nice right now. That's what they say.
Is that what they say?
Is that what they say?
That's what they tell me. I don't look. I ain't been. I'm just saying. I would.
And they're
love
in the
to
opposite
go.
season or something, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Should have been there.
You could have been down under with the off season. Hanging out with the kangaroo, just don't get punched by one.
Why are you running that close up on a kangaroo though? Why am I ever in that space? If I'm ever within 2 feet of a kangaroo, am I a zoologist? What am I doing? Why am I that close?
What if it just run up on you? You walking through.
Why? Wait. Why is it running up on me? Where am I that the kangaroo decided to pull up on me?
They walk around the neighborhood in Bogart. That's what I feel like.
That's not how this works. That is not how that works in Australia. You might find a snake.
I did see a video of a kangaroo boxing some man, and it was on a random street.
He volunteered for that and brought that shit around.
Or they be coming up to their glass doors and be banging on it, come outside.
Maybe I don't know enough about Australia. Maybe I should.
Exactly.
How embarrassing to get your ass beat by a kangaroo.
I don't know if that's embarrassing. That's a big ass
jumped,
animal. What? Are you serious? I don't think that's embarrassing. A kangaroo. Have you ever seen a kangaroo? It is big, 7 feet tall. It's huge.
They're huge.
Yeah.
Kangaroo.
I would have said I got jumped by Rue and them.
Rue and them. And you know what's crazy? Both stories are true. Both stories are true.
Exactly. Just leave out the details of who Rue exactly or what it is. I just got jumped by Rue and
what
them.
the fight was over.
That is true.
Yeah, they stomped me out a little bit,
That's fucking ridiculous. Les, but I feel like you actually have probably the most to talk about the weekend, though, because, you help people take their first steps into forever. There's no more noble task. Tell us about that, please.
Yes, so I had the pleasure of being a bridesmaid for my girl, Brittany. We were freshman year roommates at Howard. Been great friends ever since. It's my girl. I love her so much. And, oh, my God, when I tell you, she looked absolutely beautiful, stunning, mouth dropping. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. But all of us in the wedding party looked fabulous. We had
girl, yes, I saw you snatched.
Girl, you see me?
Who was your tall friend again?
Where did Leslie leave her waist at when she took the picture?
Exactly. Yes, that part.
In the dressing room,
but also,
like, you know what?
who was that tall friend of yours?
So that was the groom, Jonathan, one of his homeboys. They've known each other since they were like 2. So they go way back to like diaper days or whatever.
No, one of the bridesmaids. You had to talk.
Oh, Isis. Oh, yeah, she was a maid of honor. Her and Brittany have been best friends since they were in high school.
Isis, shout out to Isis, man. Look great. Shout out.
The one that had the boots on in the picture.
No, well, not the boots he was talking about. No, that was Shannon, who had on the snakeskin boots in our.
Oh, those are fantastic too. Shout out to her as well.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful ceremony. It was outside, and it started off around like 75 maybe degrees or whatever. But as we were standing up there, it did get a little chilly, so I was shivering a little bit and try not to cry.
It got cold in Texas.
Yes, it was in Texas, in Georgetown, which is in between Temple and Austin.
And it got cold there. I'm just still flabbergasted with the fact it was cold.
The temperature has been fluctuating.
Because wasn't she showing off last week talking about?
Hold on, I couldn't. Did you see my face? Because I was like, wait a motherfucking minute.
I mean, 75. That's cold.
That's where I'm somewhere hot now. How about that? How about that? You was talking all that shit when I was.
Yeah, she was.
Like, I was talking
so hot in Texas. I wore shorts today. How about that?
Well, look at you. I had
I only went to walk the dog, but I did have on shorts.
The tables have turned because look at me. I got on long sleeves today. So you're right. The tables have shifted. I apologize. But yeah, so beautiful ceremony. Vows were amazing. And then you know me, like I'm always here for a doggone reception. And after we took our pictures, after we ate and everything, DJ started playing that dun dun dun. For the 99 2000, that kind of.
Oh, he played the original, not that new version.
Yeah. No, the original.
Okay, because you know, anytime you hear that now, it's that new version. I'd be like,
no, he understood the assignment. It was the original.
Talk about it.
So yeah, danced my little behind off, sweated. I was sweating like crazy, but that makeup artist, she did her thing because my face, it did not move. Like my face was still intact.
What did she put on your face? That seems caustic. You need to talk to her.
It must have been that setting spray or something. And y'all, she put lashes on me. That was my first time wearing lashes. I felt like I was going my way.
How do you like lashes?
They were cute. They were super cute. It was a little irritating though, because you know, it's like it's something that was sitting on my face I'm not used to.
You be trying to see like
exactly. So I don't know. I probably do them for like special occasions, but I still don't think it's gonna be like a.
But would you go bigger with the lashes? Because the ones you had on, I really couldn't. I honestly couldn't really tell. But then again, I haven't seen a close-up photo of your face from the picture, the wedding shit. Though.
Yeah, no, they were big enough. That was a good size. I was like, no, that's good. But overall, amazing time. I want to say congratulations to Brittany and Jonathan. I love y'all so much.
Congratulations.
The best. Much happiness. So yeah, that was my
shout out from the Millennial Masterclass right here, y'all. Taking your first steps into forever. We love it here. We love to see it.
Yes.
We want a picture from the honeymoon, guys. Send us a picture from the honeymoon. That's what we want. Not in the bedroom.
Why you just say from the wedding? Like what?
Because you want to see them on the beach somewhere smiling, drinking a mimosa. Hey, y'all. That's what I'm looking for. That's what the picture I'm looking for.
Okay, I'll see.
Okay, you should have said that specifically.
I just assumed that's where everybody was going. Y'all nasty because y'all's minds is nasty. That's what that is.
Is it our minds?
And tea. That's what that is.
Anywho, what did y'all get into this weekend?
Honestly, I did do something. You had
a jam session. I saw you.
I did a few. Okay, I just did a few things this weekend. No, we did that. We did do the jam session. That was a good time. That was Friday night. That was actually low key impromptu because we talked about it before, but we got a new keyboardist, so that was a good time. Some of the listeners don't know I'm low key in a band, but we'll get to that later. I won't shout all of that out yet. Once we get another set list together, I can tell you all about it. But so we were at a bit of a rehearsal. And so it was nice. And then both vocalists were there. Our drummer was there. He's really the one that set it up. And then he found the pianist. And Eric is pretty good. I call him Eric Smooth because he's Mr. Smooth on the keys. It was a good time. And then I
saw that video. I was like, okay, I hear you hitting the vocals.
Stayed out way too late. There was talk of going to karaoke. We didn't make it. Because karaoke started at midnight. So it wasn't gonna happen. But then the next day I went to the Soul Train Awards. So that was very interesting.
Oh, yeah. He said it so casually and so like nonchalantly. like he went to the grocery store. Oh, I just went to Soul Train Awards.
Well, low key, it kind of was like that because like I live very close to the Apollo Theater. So for me, it was almost like I was walking. Honestly, it was closer than the grocery store was to me. Let's just put it that way. So we got dressed up. We went there. It was a long process, yo, because we were part of the casted audience. So then we had to wait out line. Like when I tell you, I thought niggas was waiting for new Jordans. There were as many people as they were in the line going around. Like it wrapped around the building because the holding was at the Magic Johnson movie theater, which is just across the street from the Apollo. And then we got in there after like forever. Everybody was dressed great. They looked good. All that was great. And then we finally get in and scan your look COVID shit, all of that. And then like, so holding is the movie theater. And they took us and guess the movie they were playing that they had us watch and see. Y'all know. It was the Eternals. No, it was the Eternals. I wish it had been King Richard.
Oh, okay.
And I was just
why
like,
did I guess Space Jam? I don't know where I got that from.
I mean, again,
I was gonna say like Mike. That was the first thing that popped in my head.
What?
I don't know. It just popped into my head.
Okay,
you didn't give us no clues.
I didn't think. I just assumed y'all would name some new movies. That's what I assumed.
Oh, I said King Richard. That was close.
That was close. That was actually acceptable. I accepted that one. Anyway, no.
So like Mike's not acceptable?
No, it's not because that movie is 20 years old. Yes, 20 years old.
It's a classic. I like Mike.
It's a good movie. I love that
movie.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah. So then, of course, gave that movie an eye roll. But the point is that they gave us just drinks and popcorn. So now, okay, we got there at 1 p.m., right? Just after 1 p.m. I didn't leave. Once we finally got into the Apollo and everything else, didn't leave the Apollo Theater until 11:30 p.m.
What time did the show start? Like 7?
Pretty much, yeah. What
time did the show start? 7?
The show started at 7-ish. Like, actually, they didn't really start too late. They really were pretty prompt with what they were doing. I mean, it was a pretty well-oiled machine. It was just that it's a new venue, and then you got like 3 sets of people working. You got the people that do the COVID stuff, they're doing theirs. Then you got the people that are from the Soul Train Awards. And then you have the people that do the phones, putting your bag up for the phones. And then also you have the people that work in the Apollo. So it's hard enough getting 2 people to do some shit, let alone trying to get 4 independent groups of people to, do things right. But they did their best. It was pretty cool. It wasn't necessarily a shit show or anything. It was just that you had a lot of people trying to get in the Apollo. So it was cool. The Apollo looks nice. I think that was my first time in there for real.
So where'd y'all sit? They had y'all sitting like up higher where you're like intermixed in
okay. So if you wanted to sit lower, you'd have had to be a seat filler. So if you wanted to sit on the bottom.
So that was my next question. Okay.
Right, you'd have had to do the seat filling, but there was no guarantee you were going to sit together. So I was like, I was with my lady, so I was like, no, we ain't gonna do that. So we were up on the balcony, which actually worked out a lot better because then we're very close to the amplified stage. So we got to see all the kind of new artists. And there's an artist named Mars who performed there. I don't know if you guys know her, but shout out to her. She's really good. And I knew her already. So when I saw her, I was probably like one of 2 people that were cheering. I was like, Mars! Everybody was like, who the fuck is Mars? But she was good. She took everybody's breath away. Like, if you look at her, you would think she was like a hardcore, like some type of rapper. And then she starts singing and you're like, oh my God, is an angel in the room? This shit is wild. Like, you got to check out Mars. She's great. Countless times. Beautiful song. But yeah, that was the majority of my weekend. And I think then the next day there was church and some
amen
house cleaning. But yes.
Okay.
Church and house cleaning. Okay, Sunday.
Right. That sounds like a fun weekend though. Like, I just went to Soul Train Awards,
No, but it was a casual thing because I found it and I was like, all right, let's go.
It was a casual thing.
It wasn't a big deal until I got in there. And then some of the acts were really good though. I mean, they were honoring. Okay, so I don't want to give too much away because I know the show is going to air next week. So.
Well, they've already announced who they're honoring and stuff, so you can talk about that.
Okay. Well, then Ashanti was being honored, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I definitely was like, why? But it was okay.
Ashanti deserves nice things. Let her have it.
What are you talking about?
Okay,
Ashanti hate me too much.
Okay, I'm not saying that Ashanti is not worthy of accolades and love and adoration. That's great. I'm just saying that in the world that we live in, where there's Alicia Keys, there is Beyonce, there is Rihanna, there is all these other people. This is who you honoring. You honoring Ashanti over all these other ladies.
I mean, but
I'm just okay. Just make it make sense.
Right.
Help me out.
Right.
Monica, Brandy exist. And you still gonna
honor people not get recognition like a year or 2 ago, something like that.
Yeah, like
okay, there's Monica.
None of these people ever been
I feel like Monica was honored as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Monica was already honored for a Soul Train Award.
I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's fine.
Right, who were the previous people that got honored?
I mean, Anita Baker's had gotten one. I'm Shaka Khan. I'm just saying, like, these are. I just feel like that, and that wasn't that long ago. That was a few years ago. So I just feel as if there were some other people they could have put ahead of her. But again, Ashanti looked great. Low key, Nate will be jealous when we talk to him about it, but it's fine. But then Maxwell was the legend that was honored, and that was great. But Maxwell did a good job. Summer Walker performed. She did her thing. Lucky Day was there. There was somebody. Oh yeah, Ari Lennox was there, and then even what's that man? Shy. He has the throwback hair. Leon Bridges, he was there too. Yeah, no, it was cool. It was a good little time. Definitely shout out to BET and all of them and Soul Train for putting on. And it was the 50th anniversary of the Soul Train, of Soul Train.
Okay, cool.
Well, ladies, you know what time it is then. The listeners know what time it is as well. It's time to move right along. And it's time for the producer to pull out those factoids. You know what it is. It's the bulletin board.
So we're going to start a little somber today. You know, a lot has happened since we last recorded. So I just want to start off by saying rest in peace to Young Dolph. Very tragic, very abrupt, very unnecessary killing of the late rapper, whose given name is Adolph Thornton Jr. He was actually shot last Wednesday while at Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies. It's one of his favorite spots to go to at Memphis. He, you know, always visits it whenever he goes back home. And you know, video was shown and everything like that, so we don't have to go into all the details, but basically no arrests have been made in connection with the shooting just yet. But I did see a couple days ago that they towed a car that looks very similar to the white Mercedes-Benz that was shown in the video, which they do have still shots of like two men, you know, with guns out, guns blazing and stuff like that. So I think they're still, you know, running tests and trying to figure out if that is for sure the car, but I think it most likely is. Hopefully they do find these men who did this, because apparently like Memphis is kind of like a war zone right now. Like they were put on curfew that day. There were rumors that
they imposed martial law. Is that martial law or just like a curfew they imposed?
It was just a curfew for them. But there are rumors that Black youngsters' grandmother's house got shot up, which I later found out those rumors weren't true. They shut down Yo Gotti's restaurant there because, you know, there was some beef between Yo Gotti, Black Youngster, and Young Dolph. But I'm like not
all three of them. There was like a web of beef.
Yeah. Long story short, Yo Gotti used to be a fan of Young Dolph, wanted to sign him. Young Dolph wanted to stay independent, but he was like, you know, I appreciate it, but I just don't want to go that route. But, you know, no bad blood, we good or whatever. But apparently after that, this is what I, you know, read and learned that, you know, Yo Gotti started taking subs at Young Dolph. He returned it. There were some songs made. And of course, Yo Gotti signed Black Youngster. So then, of course, Black Youngster, you know, silly self, you know, going to stand up for his man, his boss or whatever. So he started taking shots at Young Dolph. There was even a video that I saw where Black Youngster was like with his crew and they had guns and they were like around the neighborhood, like, oh, we heard you in town, Dolph. Come through, come see you, da-da-da. So I don't know if there's a connection. Not saying there's a connection. It could have been somebody totally random. I'm not sure. But what I will say is that this was so silly, so unnecessary, so reckless. This man was taken from his family, from his kids, when he was really trying to just be out here making business moves for his family and for his community. So it's truly sad. So I just wanted to start off by saying rest in peace to Young Dolph, and we hope that they do find the people who did this.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. That is very sad. To just be, you think that you can just walk freely in your hometown and like people should know you and respect you. I'm sure he brings a lot of money to the community. I saw that he was doing a turkey drive. And that's just really sad.
I guess for me, the big part. Well, no. I'm glad you said that, because like that's the thing though. Like I really felt like his spirit was really like on the rise, you know, like he'd really got into entrepreneurship and he was definitely trying to mold, you know, young Black minds, trying to get them, you know, out of different situations and whatnot. And I felt like he really was like a part of that community, like to the nth degree, you know. So I feel like he'll definitely be missed, you know. Like I know that's the Nipsey thing, but the marathon continues for sure.
Yes, it does. Yes, it will. But let's try to talk about something a little lighter. So in other news, apparently Drake and Ye reconcile. Did y'all see that?
I did see it, but like I didn't actually believe it. I was like, did they really reconcile, or is this just a picture for Instagram?
Like, I mean, apparently they have. Who knows if it's temporary or if it'll be, you know, long lasting. Time will tell. But pretty much after more than 3 years, as we know, it seems like Drake and Ye have kind of laid their beef to rest. A lot of that, what they're saying, is thanks to Jay Prince, who I saw a previous video a couple weeks ago, right after his first Drink Champs episode came out, that, you know, Ye met with Jay Prince. Jay Prince wanted him and Drake to squash everything so they can do this benefit concert for Larry Hoover in order to help, you know, get him out of jail and stuff like that. So I don't know if it was one of the things where Jay Prince was like, you got to do this, or you're going to have to answer to me type of thing, or what. But Kanye complied. Him and Drake met up. Apparently they were all on Instagram together and each other's Instagram stories, like cheesing, like they just kicking. Ain't none of these like diss songs or exchange of words ever happen. And so, yeah, we will see if this lasts or if it's just another, you know, publicity stunt, or if it's just until the concert is over and then they'll go on back to making these records and
tour.
Hey,
tour.
That is
everybody
not
say it with
happen.
me like the Donda chant. Tour.
Why
are we not all saying it? We're not all saying it together. Okay, that's cool.
No.
I think it's gonna be $400 starting now.
Okay, and you're gonna enjoy yourself. You might go crazy.
I've seen Drake perform. I don't care to see
Kanye. I mean, have I seen Aubrey perform? I don't know if I have.
I saw him and Lil Wayne when they was in concert in DC.
Oh, then I did see that. Yeah, you're right. I did see that.
It was lit, but
you never seen Ye and Drake together. That seems like
they gonna make it to 2 shows, and then Kanye gonna get on the interview and say something fucking crazy. And then
awesome. Then let's see those 2 shows before they get to that point.
I'll see him on the BET Awards next summer. I'm good.
I don't want to see that shit. Whatever.
They can do a collab there.
Exactly.
They could, but look, I feel like this is the perfect person to help Drake finally use Aaliyah's music correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like we
shout
might
out to
finally get a hit.
because people be dying over beefs, and that's not cool. So shout out to their beef.
Right.
Super true.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Charlamagne from the Breakfast Club said he wants to see an album produced by Kanye and Drake, you know, rapping, and then a Kanye album where it's like written by Drake. So he just wants something like collab musically and do projects together instead of like beefing.
I want that, because think about it. If you were to combine CLB and combine Donda, you might have had the greatest hip hop album ever. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, maybe.
Well,
I know, right?
I know. I'm gonna just let us keep it moving, because okay.
I'm just saying, man, you'd have had an argument for it. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
We can move on. You have nice things. She's like,
She won't, but it's okay though. I'm okay with that, because a lot of people feel this way, and you know what? This sounds like just a topic for another segment, but that's all right. We're gonna move right along. What's happening at the alma mater, man? What's going on?
So apparently the students reached an agreement with Howard University officials after a full month of protest. As y'all know, we had a special episode where we talked to a current student about what was happening at Howard when it came to protesting the dorm and living situation. Yes, shout out to her. And so there is a quote from President Frederick where he said, "The health and well-being of our students is the most important part of my job as president. As I've said before, even one issue in one of our dormitories is too many, and we will continue to remain vigilant in our pledge to maintain safe and high-end housing." However, he did not provide details. So
why would he do that?
Right. So
it sucks when something goes bad. We really care. End sentence. Like, what? Okay.
How are you going to fix it? Like, what's going to happen? But students responded. There was one spokesperson. She said, "We spent 33 days saying that not only did our lives matter, but so did our voices and our concerns. We came, we saw, we declared, and we won." So whatever the agreement was, apparently the students are happy. They feel like their needs were met, or at least there's a plan in place in order to meet those needs. I do think there needs to be transparency though, so we can see exactly what was agreed upon, because for this to be so public, the plan needs to be as public. Especially for us alumni and current students and stuff, we need to know what's going on with our school. We hold Howard so near and dear to our hearts, so we need to have like a real like coming to Jesus family moment and fix it.
Right. I definitely
that moment should have happened a while ago with us and pitchforks and torches in front of it. We should have been trying to burn it down. Yeah. But that's fine. I'm really happy that honestly this one has really inspired me, this whole story, just like everything around it. Just because like how many times did we like protest and do things there? They actually really committed to this and got the shit done. Like they really and then like honestly yeah, but they used all their weapons they had. Like they used the social medias. Everybody used all their connections. They called their cousins who did this. They got the attention out there. Like I love the way they mobilized. Like, honestly, can we hire them to do some work for the show? Because clearly people are gonna know about it. Because they did. I'm amazed at all they did. like just like the live movement, just everything, man. They really did it. So really give a hand to them. And you guys maybe didn't turn out exactly what you wanted it to, but you guys got some progress, man. I'm really, really, really appreciative of them and just impressed.
You know what I think it was? I think it was Dr. Umar saying he was about to pull up. Then she was like, "No,
everybody says that. Everybody says that.
We're good. We're good.
What is
We're good
Dr.
over
Umar
here,
gonna do?
bro.
What is he gonna do? Not shit.
He's talking a bunch of circles. We good, bro. We good.
Exactly.
Actually, we
Did
done
y'all
with the
see
whole
that
thing, for
meme?
real.
Did y'all see that meme where they're like they need to have Dr. Umar go undercover, like Chris Hansen does with pedophiles, but like when brothers want to date white women? They're like, hey brother, come and sit down. Let me talk to you for a minute.
That would be hilarious.
Great rising, King. Let me talk to you for a minute.
Great rising.
That'd be hilarious. But no, we don't need that.
But that's all right. That is all right. Is there anything else on the docket, ma'am?
No, that's enough for this week. It was a lot going on, so we're just gonna end it there. But you know me, I'm gonna keep my ears to the street and report back next week.
Holla, talk about it. Well, we're gonna move right along then. And today, guys, we have a very special guest. And to be honest with you, this episode is really dedicated to what's going on upstairs. I mean, we called it "Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind," but we don't want you to lose your mind. We want you to keep it sane and keep it healthy and keep it clean. And today, that's why we brought here a mental health expert, if you will, Mr. Nathaniel Turner. And today he's going to talk a little bit about mental health, his journey through it, and ways that you can actually maintain and, have a mental health checkup through the holidays, and definitely get through these holidays without killing someone, because we all want that.
Please.
And now you know what time it is. It is time for the lesson plan. Today we have a very special lesson plan on this Thanksgiving, or some people call it Indigenous Peoples Day, or Indigenous Revenge of the Indigenous Peoples. I mean, there's a lot of names for it. But either way, today we are focusing on mental health. I mean, especially with the holidays times, that, it's a big issue. People struggle with it and don't even realize they're struggling with it in some cases. And today we have an expert. Yeah, I said it, a fucking expert. This gentleman right here. We met him originally at the great HU, the Mecca, and then he's gone on his mental health journey, and he is a mental health professional, and this is the guy we come to for a lot of these questions. So please, everybody, welcome Mr. Nathaniel Turner.
Welcome, Nathaniel. Happy to have you.
We are so happy to have you today.
Oh, I love
he looks great, guys.
So much.
You can't see him, but his beard looks spectacular.
I was just going to say something about his beard.
I took care of it
this morning. Video.
I took care of it this morning. Believe me, I'm about to be out of town for a couple of days. I was like, let me get myself ready real quick.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where he's telling us he's going. That's not where he's actually going.
That's the end. I'm going to Maryland.
Who's in Maryland? Who's in Maryland?
My friends
I live in Maryland, and he ain't coming to see me. So
exactly. He didn't say I'm going to see Sean.
Oh,
that's
man.
not what he said.
We digress. We talk about mental health. Let's talk about mental health.
You're right. Let's stay on track.
Okay, well, we want to start with you just telling us a little bit about yourself, just so our viewers can get to know you before we progress with the conversation. So, who is Nathaniel Turner?
Yeah, so I am Nathaniel Turner. I'm a native New Yorker, not a licensed marriage and family therapist as of yet, but working on licensure.
Stand up, Queens.
That's a long road. Yes, a Queens native, and of course, an HU alum. I met many of these beautiful people more than 10 years ago now at HU, the Mecca.
Was that necessary?
We've just been friends ever since.
10 years?
I just had 10 years, man. Listen, I got to be honest about it.
Can I just say Nate met me like 3 times before it actually stuck, and he actually remembered who I was and wanted to be my friend.
Oh, man. So this is
Nate used to live on the 5th floor of Drew Hall, y'all. The 5th floor.
I did. I was on the 5th floor. I was in the corner. I had a nice little breeze. I had like a sea breeze in my little corner double. But yo, listen, but you know what? No, I want to talk about that real quick, Leslie, because this is something that I've always been challenged by. My memory is terrible, and I get it from my mama. Her memory is terrible as well. She could watch the same movie like 10 times. It'll be the same. It'll be the first time she's seeing it every time that she watches it. And I have that same problem with memory, that it's just like, I need to have like a super strong emotional attachment to that memory. And then it's like, oh, it's there, it's stuck forever. But up until then, I'm just like, oh, I'm meeting people and I'm just like,
Basically, they
Sorry,
say
I wish I could do better, but
I'm not memorable.
oh
No,
my
I'm messing with
goodness.
you. So
I'm
I'm the
never
same
gonna
way.
get
Out
out
of
of
sight,
this.
out of mind is my thing. So it's like I could have known you, met you, had a great time, but if we don't like talk for a certain amount of time, I forget who you are because it's just the way
Right.
my memory works. I feel you. But continue.
Yeah. So I went to Howard for psychology. I came out, I did some time in the government working for Social Security. But then I decided to go back and do therapy. So I wouldn't say like therapy is my identity, but I definitely strongly I believe that it's a calling. And so I strongly identify with it. So yeah, absolutely. Whenever people need to come to me, my friends especially, and they just want to have a conversation, or so I'm the person that they know that they can go to.
Okay. Well, that sounds amazing. You mentioned you worked in Social Security right after Howard for some time. So, when did you decide to, go back to school to be a therapist? What pulled you towards that?
Yeah, so I 5 or 6 years into the working, I had everything that like you're supposed to have, right? I had like the good job, I had the house, I had the relationships, I had all this other kind of stuff, but I was just really unfulfilled, and I felt like staying where I was sort of like digging myself deeper into this hole where if they throw any more money at me, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going. It's not going to make sense for me to leave at this point. So I knew that I wanted to work with people. I knew that I was called to work in human services. Even when I was at Howard, I had kind of like envisioned myself going back to school because I wanted to be a relationship therapist. So I wanted to work with couples, and that was really like the only thing that I had ever really like thought of for like a long-term career. So yeah, it just got to a point where I was just like, look, it's now or never, it's do or die. And yeah, I said I wanted to develop a skill set that would allow me to be an entrepreneur if I wanted to be an entrepreneur, where I wouldn't really have any kind of like upper ceiling, but I would still be able to be of service to other people. And yeah, and honestly, when I started making that transition, I started considering that transition, I was looking at the job market too. And the job market, maybe like 5-6 years ago, was trending strongly towards mental health. Which we could definitely like talk a little bit about, trends in society and everything like that with the rising of depression and anxiety and all those kind of things. But it was definitely trending towards mental health being an in-demand field. And so I said, now is the time is do or die. And I never look back.
Okay, and here you are now, right?
Here I am now.
All right, well, since we're digging into mental health for this episode, can you define mental health for us and then just talk about what your personal mental health journey has been like thus far?
Defining mental health is really hard. I think that mental health has become like this really like hot button topic. It's like at the it's on the forefront of like campaigns along with like diversity, equity, inclusion. And for me personally, right, it seems like it's just kind of become like this ambiguous thing that people say, oh, you need to like, have good mental health, like take care of your mental health. You need to, make sure that you're practicing self-care. You need to go see a therapist. And it's just like, it's the popular thing to do. It's the new black, right? But like, what is actually mental health? So I tried to break this down into like just a one sentencer. I believe that mental health is one facet, right? A single facet of holistic wellness with a variety of contextual determinants and outcomes, right?
That's good.
Okay.
So when you think about mental health, you want to take a comprehensive approach to it. You want to look not just at like mental health as what's going on in your head, but mental health as the systems that are impacting you, mental health in the terms of the environment that you were raised in or the environment that you lived in, mental health in terms of the relationships that you have, the pattern that you have, the way that you eat, your diet, your sleep hygiene, all of these, your spiritual health, all of these things are they're like different variables that go into, I think, what we commonly see as mental health.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love the way you define that. That is probably the simplest way to define it, but it really sticks. So I love the way you define that. So tell us a little bit about what your personal mental health journey has looked like, and maybe talk about some of the obstacles you've experienced during that time.
So when I went to school, I went to school at Drexel in Philadelphia. So I came back. I came back from DC. I lived and worked in New York for you know, a little bit more than half of a decade. And then I made a transition to Philadelphia for the last 3 years. I actually just got back to the city in August. And for me, mental health was definitely like a part of the therapist training journey. It was something that we had to do that was integrated into my program, was called Person of the Therapist, which had to do with like getting in touch with what we call signature themes, which are kind of like these golden threads that sort of like permeate all of the different aspects of life and really show up in the therapy room if you're working with other people. So if you are a therapist, your most important tool is yourself. So you can't really like disconnect yourself from what's going on, right? People are going to be telling you things. You're going to be having your own personal reaction to it, but your personal reaction needs to be diminished as much as possible, because the person is there because they're looking for help. It's not your therapy, it's their therapy, right? But it is also a relationship. So you really need to have like perspective. You need to know what's your stuff, where your stuff ends and where their stuff begins, is like a good way of looking at it. So for me, it was really tough. I had to gain perspective. I had to gain perspective. I had to gain accountability. A lot of mental health concerns or challenges that people will come, you know, seeking therapy to work on. It really is about accountability. It's about so you want some change to happen, and just kind of like getting into a deeper understanding or a deeper awareness of it in and of itself is not enough for a change to take place. There has to be some accountability and some willingness for you to do something different than you've done before. And that comes, I believe, with perspective, right? So for me, my mental health journey has been all about like perspective, recognizing the different ways in which I've been traumatized. Taking a trauma-informed approach is normalizing the fact that everybody at some point has experienced some sort of trauma, right? Trauma is not like any one thing. And trauma sort of like it impacts the way that you develop, right? Along a normal life trajectory. So me even just being able to reconcile the different ways that like I had experienced some trauma, impact whether relation be in my family growing up, whatever the case may be, all of those things helped me to gain perspective and sort of like get a clearer picture on where I was on that spectrum of holistic wellness.
Gotcha.
I feel like that was a long-winded answer. I don't know if that was
perfect. It was perfect.
But it was
okay.
thorough.
I feel
We
like
appreciate
I do
the thoroughness
have
of
a
that
question
answer.
in that.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of what you said was that being a therapist involves you having to know how to draw the line between their stuff and your stuff.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you have your own stuff going on.
Absolutely.
Would you recommend that most therapists have their own therapist?
Common factors research is this domain of research that is looking into like determinants for positive therapeutic outcomes, right? So the research shows that therapeutic relationship, right? Not like the style of therapy per se, not the modality of therapy, not the interventions or anything like that, but the actual relationship itself is the thing that's bringing about the most change, right? So relationship itself is really important. So if you're a therapist, right, and you are you're not practicing what you preach in as far as helping your clients to get let's say just socially involved, right? They're experiencing isolation, they're experiencing depression, and they're not getting socially involved. If you are not a person who is socially involved, being a therapist can be like a very isolating type of job. You do the therapy yourself, right? And if you don't really have a social network, it can be hard, it can be heavy taking in everybody's stuff and not really having your own outlier, right? But if you have friends that you can actually have like some deep, meaningful conversations with, and you're able to sort of like process what it is that's going on with you, and you have good practices that enable you to sort of just like get clean of all of that like energy that you're taking in from other people that you're constantly absorbing, and being able to kind of like sift through and parse out again their stuff and your stuff, then maybe you don't need therapy, right? I'm not going to be the person that's be like, yo, everybody do therapy. I don't have a therapist right now, right? I have had a therapist in the past though, when there was something particular that I needed, got a therapist just for that therapy. something I want people to set as an expectation for them is that therapy is a dress rehearsal for real life, right? Therapy is not taking the place of other relationship life. You're not coming to a therapist to gain a friend, right? You're coming to a therapist to gain some insight, some perspective into what's going on with you, right? And decide, okay, what's needed, what needs to change, have that objective, start putting it into action. You really have to ask yourself, is the therapy now essentially a crutch? Or is this a person, is this a relationship that I still actually need in my life? And different people are going to tell you different things, but
that's not just out of a question. As a therapist, do you feel like you're more like self-aware? So I just always wonder, like doctors, nurses, therapists, are you more self-aware of what's going on with you? Or can you sometimes still like be kind of like blinded out of the loop of what's really
therapists are humans, Joe. Therapists are humans, and we go through everything that other people go through. Like the reason why we have the perspective and the insight most times that we have to give our clients is because we've had those experiences, right? There's a quote from this philosopher, Terrence, ironically.
Wow.
Ironically. And I can't remember the quote like verbatim, but essentially what it's saying is that like there's nothing, like every human experience is an experience that I can have, right? So it's basically like limiting your ability to kind of like judge people, because you're able to recognize that people are having human experiences. If I'm a human, then the experience that they're having is within the scope of possibility for me in my life, right? And so I need to be honest. I need to be honest about that, right? I need to be realistic about that. But I will say that being a therapist, what I talked about before, the person of the therapist training, that definitely did give me some perspective on like, yeah, you're off base. I know when I'm off. I know when I'm off, and I have people that I can talk to get myself back on. I'm very meticulous about like journaling, right? Journaling is like a super therapeutic thing for me. I will journal and I will like pour my heart out on those pages, and I will get myself empty, and I will be super vulnerable with myself about what's going on. And then also prayer, right? I'm a person of faith.
Quick thing here. Did you do that exercise that the pastor gave? Because do you often empty the emotional jar when you are taking your journaling notes, or is that an exercise that was new to you and that you kind of brought in, incorporated?
No, that was good, and I think that he put it in very layman, non-therapeutic terms. But I was really applauding that exercise, because a lot of times people will come into therapy and it'll just be stressed. They'll feel like they'll be in the middle of a crisis, and they won't know what to do and all of this other kind of stuff, and they'll feel so stuck. And really what it is over the course of that conversation, it's kind of like it's drawing people out of this hole that they've dug themselves in, this protective hole, this adaptive hole, right? That they've kind of like dug themselves into over time, where they've had to kind of like stuff all of these other emotions, because it's just been like, it's been too much for them, right? It's been too much for them to deal with, or they just don't want to deal with it, right? They would prefer to rely on distractions to get by, right? And so they don't want to face the stuff that's actually there, right? But there's a really good book by Bessel van der Kolk called The Body Keeps the Score, and it's about trauma. And you can't, when you're experiencing some sort of trauma, your body holds on to it, right? Your body holds on to it. A lot of people will get sick, right? Develop cancer, right? Because they have unaddressed stress, unaddressed trauma over long durations of time that are accumulating as sickness, as illness in their body, right? So that exercise that he actually introduced is a very practical way for people to take care of themselves. Like if you want to talk about self-care is being honest with yourself about what's going on and saying, look, I need some help, and asking for the help and getting the help that you need.
So you're saying self-care isn't getting your hair and nails done?
It can be.
It can be. That's one action.
I think that people say that all the time.
And that's why, like, when I started, I said that it's become like such a buzzword, because I think that that kind of that definition or that perspective on self-care and mental health, it really cheapens it, right? It's not actually getting to the core of what's going on, right? You're getting your hair done and your nails done. Why? Because looking good makes you better. It might, and this is the thing, it might make you feel good, but is that actually addressing the things that need to be addressed?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to your hair not
exactly. Exactly. But at the same time, getting your hair done, keeping yourself up. You know what I'm saying? For me, getting my scrub, my Himalayan pink scrub this morning, and getting my stuff. Hey, listen,
on the head as well. On your head as well.
On my head. Get it on my head as well. Is that why it shines? Pink scrub. And that's exactly why it shines with a little bit of Scotch Porter. You know what I'm saying? Facial moisturizer.
Wait, what kind of water you say?
He says Scotch Porter. Scotch Porter's good stuff.
Oh, I thought you said Scotch water. I'm like,
that'd be interesting, right? Nah, but I digress. That's a joke. But I say all that to say it's a way of honoring yourself, right? You do feel better when you take care of yourself, right? Exercise, get sleep, drink water, right? Eat vegetables. These are aspects of self-care because they do actually manifest in the way that you feel. That's important, but that's not all that there is to it, right? That's what I'm saying.
I like that, bro.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess we got to jump right into this then. So the holidays, man, that's a tough time for everybody. I mean, whether it be financially or just traveling, or essentially you want to get to be with those people, but sometimes you can't, sometimes they're not around anymore, whatever it is. Do you find that to be the most difficult time for any clients that you've seen?
I'm not going to, yes, I will say that for some clients, it is particularly difficult because with holidays, you have a lot of things going on, right? You have the stress of work, like making that final fourth quarter press with work. You have travel plans because you have two really significant holidays back to back. You have a lot of people experiencing burnout. You have the shift, right, on what's it called? Daylight savings time, which is throwing off everybody's circadian rhythms. It's almost like a jet lag kind of experience. And just like the darkening of the day, there's less sunlight. That's having an effect on your biology. That's having an effect on your mental well-being, right? But then you also have this sort of like foreboding that's being exacerbated by not only like expectations around family, but also expectations around relationships. And sometimes those things kind of like they go together, right? So for relationships with clients, you might have like this is like a testing or a make or break type of period. Right, kind of similar to Valentine's Day, right? Where, look, it's time to go. It's time to for me to go see my parents. I would like you've been somebody that I've been dating or I've been, in a situation with for like a period of time. I would like you to come and see my family, but I have stuff going on with my family that I'm not sure that I want you to see. So I have some shame around it and some stuff like that. But then at the same time, our situation, I'm not really sure if I'm really ready to make that commitment because there's stuff that's coming up for me as a result of our relationship and the way that it's deepening that now I don't feel too comfortable. And it causes me to call into question, what are we, right? But this is not a conversation that we can have. So all of these things is kind of just like coalescing and falling on top of each other. And then with any significant holiday, you have what's called like an anniversary reaction, right? An anniversary reaction is sort of like, it's like a recall back to like a significant event, sometimes a significant trauma from earlier on in life. And for a lot of people, holidays can be that thing. Because if you're living away from home, then your holidays are the time that you are going back and you're having conversations about what's been going on with life. If you haven't been in contact with your family as much as you could be, right? And then all of that stuff kind of comes out, and then that becomes so all of these things kind of just like snowball and make the holidays very hard. Now, but again, that's not to say everybody's the same way. Some people are able to manage the holidays, reasonably well, and some people thrive in the holidays. They love the holidays, right? So I mean, it's a spectrum.
Okay. Well, then roll right into it. Talk to us about seasonal depression, man. And you know, with definitely with the changing of the daylight and whatnot. Like, what can you tell us about that? Like, are there ways to get around it? Are there ways things that we should be doing to, you know, mitigate that? Like, what? Yeah, man.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder is definitely something that's like is really prevalent. It's something that I'm personally impacted by. I know that for like the last few winters, it's hit me particularly hard.
Well, wait, could you speak to that though? Like, what do you mean? Like it hits you? That like how do you know that, like, not just because like it's darker outside, but like what is it really doing to you? Because I used to date somebody that used to go through this as well, and I never quite understood what they meant by that. So like, what do you mean?
Yeah, you start to have depressive symptoms, right? So your energy, so you might feel more fatigued. Your energy is going down. Your mood or your affect is kind of like on the decline. You may start to isolate a little bit more. There may be some changes to your sleep and your diet that are having an impact on your ability or your willingness to be physically active. And ironically, all of those things, trying to find some rhythms of regularity, we'll say, across all of those really basic things are ways that you can combat it, right? Making sure that you stay meaningfully connected to your social network. Making sure that you stay meaningfully connected to your family. Let people know that there's stuff going on. And if you feel like you need people to check in on you, tell them, right? Tell them we're not meant to be lone wolves in this life. We're meant to be communal. So invite some community into your life. It's going to make a significant difference. But then do what you can, right? Start where you are. Focus on where you're at and do what you can, right? What can you do? Get to sleep on time, right? Make sure that you're getting some significant sleep. Make sure that you're introducing some regularity. Again, rhythms of regularity into your life, right? Make sure that you're eating well, right? Eating a lot of carbs, for instance, and again, nutritionist is or a dietitian is outside of my scope of competence, but I mean, just on a basic level, making sure that you're having vegetables, making sure that you're drinking water, making sure that you're exercising. Something really simple that helped me was just walking. Super simple, like not even like super strenuous exercise or anything like that.
So just walking simply around town.
Just walking around town, trying to get to nature in particular.
Okay.
Trying to get to nature in particular, but definitely walking, because especially in these lingering COVID times, we've become like even more sedentary than we already are, right? So making sure that we're like trying to break up that monotony in our life in a very intentional way. It could just be like getting out the house and going for like, you don't even have to be crazy. Just going for like a 10-15 minute walk around the block a couple times, right? Get some sunlight, right? Vitamin D. It makes it small things that you can do that will make a significant change. Yeah, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's out there. Travel safely. Enjoy the time with family and loved ones. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nate. Appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah.
And we're at one of the most fun parts of the show. Welcome to Recess. Sean, take it away.
So first, we're going to talk about music. And the only music that I want to talk about
Leslie,
is
get your candles.
Album.
I'm going to get my tissue.
Where's my violin?
Tissues.
The lights
Did
are too
you guys
light.
listen?
Too bright.
Let me just ask you first. Did you listen to Adele's album?
Yeah.
I got halfway through it.
Yeah.
I got halfway because
it was good. It was exceptional. Yes. What you want me to say? It was fantastic.
Let me tell you, initially when I put it on, I was driving to get my hair done before the wedding, and I was like, yo, I gotta cut this off because I'm not in the right headspace. It's like, I feel like Adele, you really have to be in a certain headspace in order to like listen and take it in and stuff like that. And I was happy. I was hyped.
That part.
Like, this not Adele, you know? So then I listened to it again some yesterday. I just haven't finished it. But I of course, love her voice, love her tone, love the lyrics and stuff like that. Man, you just got to be in the right like mindset. I've been in such a happy and, you know, having fun partying type of mode that I'm just like not there. So
yeah, but when I tell y'all, I totally understand that. And it took me like, I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna listen to it yet. But I was sitting here trying to watch a movie, couldn't get it to work. So I'm like, all right, let me just give this Adele album a try. When I tell y'all, I was crying the first whole half of the album. I was like in tears, like unbearable. That album spoke to me like I got a divorce or something. Like it was, it was every song, and it was so relatable. So almost everyone is my favorite, but I'll let you guys know. Easy on Me, I love that song. My Little Love, the song about her son.
I love that one.
Had me bawling. Like just the fact that conversation that they had, oh my gosh, that just really had me crying the entire time. Cry Your Heart Out didn't really make me cry, but it was a really good song. I really enjoyed I Drink Wine, the All Night Parking interlude, Woman Like Me, and Hold On I was like, when I heard Hold On, I was like, damn, did this bitch know me? Like, did we work on this song together? Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm looking around the room like, oh my gosh, I'm reading the lyrics at the same time. Like, this is so beautiful. One of my favorite for sure was To Be Loved. I was like, is she crying on this song? She was singing her heart out. Like, we know Adele can throw down, of course, but on that song, I just felt all the pain that she's ever been through in this last relationship.
I don't know that I want to feel that.
You don't, unless you're ready to get emotional. You're like, what the fuck, bro?
Like what you just said right now is heavy. I feel like you're talking about Tristan, go pick up 400 pounds. That's heavy.
I mean, it's heavy, but it's, especially if you've experienced a bad breakup, or it's just like, whoa, this song definitely is speaking to you. But I will say she ended on a song called Love Is a Game, which was like way more upbeat. And it was like, okay, good, bitch. I'm tired of crying. Thank God you're trying to get a little happy. Like, damn, bitch.
I mean, this is a mental health episode, so it's only fitting that we, you know, go through Adele's heartbreak where she is right now.
You know, I could not wait to talk about this Adele album because I just knew it was going to be so good, and I honestly think that it's one of her best. Like, it's absolutely.
I mean, she hasn't given us a bad album yet.
She hasn't given a bad one, and they just keep getting better.
So you think this is better than 25?
So that's what I was really stuck between, because I love 25.
Wait. Before you answer this question, I got to know something. Where do you rank the albums that they are now? Because I probably should have started there. Because you got 19, 21, 25, now and then 30. So subsequently, where do you rank all of them?
Oh, that's a good one. Let's see. I'm looking through the song list. 25 might, just to make sure I'm on each album correctly. 25 and 30 might be like really tied for me. I've enjoyed both of them. I would say I enjoyed 19 more than 21.
Okay.
Interesting. So you say
I like some good. There was some good songs on here. I would pick 19 over 21.
So wait a minute. So you're telling me 21 has Rolling in the Deep, Someone Like You, Love Song, Turning Tables, Set Fire to the Rain, and you're gonna tell me that's not as good as 19?
Rumor has it.
Yeah, girl.
Pacing Pavements, Melt My Heart to Stone.
All right, those are good songs too.
What Make You Feel My Love?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Those are bangers. Like, I don't know, but I definitely really do want to say I enjoyed this Adele album. So if you ready to cry, and I feel like I lost like 10 pounds crying. Because it was so all right, maybe 3.
Were you in the sauna listening to this? What are you talking about right now?
I'm talking about just from my tears coming down. But no, seriously, it was really good. I did enjoy the story that she told. I enjoyed listening to the whole production.
I still have to finish it, but from what I've heard, yes, I agree, it's an amazing album. If I would have to pick my favorite all-time Adele, I think I'll have to side with Tristan to say 21. I think that album just had all the bangers on it. But also I just feel like I know this album, she of course writes exactly what's going on in her life and stuff like that. And again, like I don't know, I can't relate. I ain't never had my heart broke. Not like that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all this stuff is super heavy. And I felt like 21, it had some heavy content, but for the most part, it was like fun, upbeat stuff, or like, you know, even the sadder songs were like, had more of a like kind of up tempo-esque to it, to where I don't know. This
I
one
don't know,
is
man. Someone
heavy.
Like You is sad as fuck. Every
It
time I
is,
hear
but I
that
mean, like some
song,
of the other, but I'm just saying, like overall, I just feel like even like what's the first one on this one? Strangers by Nature and like My Little Love. Like I love those two. But even the way, like Strangers by Nature, even the way it's sung is so like it's like slow and grand and melodic. You know what I'm saying? So I just like,
Yeah.
Adele just takes you somewhere. You have to be ready to go there. And if you're not trying to go there, then it's like you got to cut it off.
Leslie's like, I'm just trying to have a good time. Like, can we bop? We can talk about love in a fast little, you know, a little.
Okay.
So move my shoulders
now
too.
another thing to point out here that I've been thinking about. So now I'm always looking at artists' cover art because, you know, I feel like that's just as important as like the title of the album and sometimes, you know, the material on it. So now the first album, right? You don't really see her face, right? It's a little bit of color in there, but it's a color album. The second album, you see her face, but it's black and white. She's looking off. The 25 is just like, bitch, look at me. I'm Adele. I'm here. The Grammys are mine. And now with 30, she pulled a Gaga and doing the side profile of her face because she didn't got.
I
cute.
like this profile picture, though. That's
Right, because
nice.
she wants you to see them cheekbones. She didn't got cute. So I get what?
First of all,
am I wrong?
Like she wasn't cute before.
She was cute. She lost some weight. She was cute.
Got cuter. I'm sorry. My bad,
Okay.
Adele. My bad, darling. Anyway, so I'm just saying. So what do you think that means? Like in tandem with this material?
I mean, maybe it's just how she was feeling at that time. So she just didn't want to give all of her in the first album. So she didn't want to show all of her face, you know, or maybe she felt more powerful when she showed her full face. And now in this one, she feels more vulnerable or more, maybe I feel like she feels vulnerable, but she also feels like a lot stronger. And that profile picture on the last album cover, it looks very strong. Like, I am woman, hear me roar type shit. Like, okay, like
she's showing up. Like she's showing up in color in her full self. You know what I'm saying? In her
full self. Like,
I feel that. So now
it feels very strong.
Well, I feel like there's gonna be a deluxe edition of this album for sure. So I feel like we're gonna get a
20
whole
more
other
songs
picture.
she about to put on.
Exactly. It's gonna be at least another 5 or 6 songs we're getting. So don't cry yourself out on this one because I feel like we're gonna get a few more.
Save your tissue.
Save the tears.
So,
but I could not date someone who writes such beautiful music because the pressure of me, because I want them to write beautiful things about me, but after we break up, I don't want you to write beautiful things about our breakup.
Then you should never date Taylor Swift because apparently she tells everything. She's been telling.
I think that's absolutely what I was never gonna do.
Telling. Made a whole music video about it. 10 minutes.
And we appreciate it, but like Summer Walker, she telling all the business.
Oh hell no!
Like,
I would never. But she has a lot of bought parts, so that's not really my thing. That's not my stilo.
Not bought parts.
It's not my stilo. But
so
out of 5 stars, what are we giving this Adele album?
Sir, 5.
Okay,
you knew I was gonna say that.
All right,
4.5 if I'm not being crazy.
All right,
it was amazing.
All right, everybody, that is the stamp. Sean the Don is given the stamp 5 stars. Adele 30.
5 out of 5. But in the TV world, have you guys been watching Dancing with the Stars?
No, but I know what happened.
Yeah,
I have not either, but I know what happened. Leslie, since you're the only one that's been watching, tell us about what's going on.
So my mom and I have been watching Dancing with the Stars, and congratulations to season 30 winner Iman Shumpert.
Yeah, Shump, I see you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Leslie did not believe in you. I believed in you the whole time, bro.
That.
I told her you was gonna win.
No,
I said, "Oh, he's gonna win. He can win the whole thing." She said,
"That's incorrect."
She said,
"What I said was what I had said was." He started off like
Walk it back
Nelly.
now. Go ahead.
He started off like Nelly last year, in my opinion, where like Nelly, he was there for a good time, not a long time. He, was there for, morale and just camaraderie. He was just a good time, having a great time, right? That's how mine started for me. Like, oh, he's out having a good time. Cool. He's fun. He's like, looks good doing it. But this man literally put in the work each and every week, and he consistently improved. And he was hitting those dances. He was getting his 10s. And so, like, when he got into the semifinals, like, oh, snap. Okay. And I typically don't vote on these shows, like on like The Voice, American Idol, these shows. I typically don't vote. But like, I was voting for Iman because he deserved.
Oh, like you really hit the vote button?
I text the number. I put Iman in 10 times.
Text the number. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, I voted for this.
Standard messaging rates applied, right?
I mean, I ain't got a bill yet, so you know, it'd be all right. It'd be all right. I can pay my phone bill. But what I would say, like last year, Need from Catfish, he should have won. He was cheated. So I didn't want that to happen to Iman this year. So I'm like, this man literally hasn't put in work to improve. He deserves, and he came, he saw, he conquered. I'm so happy for him and his partner Daniela. They were amazing. Y'all gotta go back and watch some of the performances, especially the one they did for Halloween. They did Us, like an Us theme. Where they had the jumpsuits and everything, and just that final look that he gave the judges. Oh, he looked 10 types of crazy, but he engulfs whatever he is trying to portray, and like you can see it on his face and his movements. And Danielle is such a great choreographer because she literally utilizes his height to their advantage. He's picking her up and flipping her and waving her around. And on the dance that was like 2 weeks ago or something like that, at the end, she's literally standing on his chest, but not like on his chest. He's standing up straight and she's standing on his chest, and they're like this. No, he's not holding her nothing. She's just standing on her own. And that was their ending move. And when
that's gangster as hell.
That's a lot of trust right there, because I would have been shaking.
Yeah, YouTube his clips and you'll see that he deserved this. Like, it's well deserved. So shout out to Iman.
So okay, so then one question then. Should he do this instead of play basketball ever again? Like, because it just seems that
is he still able to play basketball? Like, are people looking at him? Because
he's not officially retired. So I mean, if he wanted to hoop, I mean, he could still do so. Low-key, the Bulls could use him. We just had some players go down. I mean, we're hot right now. I could use somebody else who could shoot.
I mean, at this point, I think Iman is showing us that he can do anything. He can do basketball, he can do music, he can do dancing, he does reality TV. Like,
he does music.
Yeah, he's a rapper. He has put some songs out.
Oh yeah, I heard that. It was okay. That's real. But shout out to Shump. I wish you all the success, bro. Congratulations.
For sure. That's what's up, man. Who would ever think that someone so tall can dance like that?
Chris Brown.
Like, okay.
Chris Brown ain't that tall.
Chris Brown is not as tall.
He's like 6'2", 6'3". I mean, Iman Shumpert is like 6'5", 6'6". We talking about 2-3 inches at that point.
No.
Okay, that's not
accurate.
That's a lot, man. That's still a lot.
Iman Shumpert is 6'5", 6'6". Chris Brown is 6'2", 6'3". I feel like it's not that big of a height disparity.
Chris Brown is 6'1".
Which means he probably really 6 foot. Niggas be lying.
Okay.
So is Shump even 6'6"? He's 6'4". All right. So the height discrepancy ain't that.
He's 6'5".
So he's 6'4". So there you go.
He looks 7 feet tall.
Oh, hell no. Here we go. Because he was standing next to somebody 4'2". Anyway, look, that doesn't help.
He next to Tiana. Tiana not that small.
She be in heels, though.
But it's interesting. I'm glad that
he was able
to fuck it up like that. That was really good. Congratulations to him. Another show that just started, Power Book 2. Did you guys watch it?
Yes. Y'all know Power Book 2 is my favorite out of all the shows 50 has ever
created.
Really?
Really? Yeah. I really don't think so. I've heard that though.
Power Book 2 is great. I love Power Book 2.
Every time I hear the title of that show, I think it's a self-help book. I'm like, Power Book 2, get this to help your life. Like, it just seems like a self-help book, but whatever.
No, that's probably the complete opposite. I did enjoy that first episode though. That was really good. I couldn't watch it alone, but I did get through it.
Well, like I said, I wish them all the success. I really do. And Power Book 2 seems like it's really blowing up. But the other show we have on here, honestly, is the one I really would like to get to, because this one seems to really be tracking. People cannot stop talking about this show.
BMF?
Can't stop the rain. That's a little more crazy. So you can't stop the rain. Spoiler alert. Have y'all finished it?
The hell out of me. Every time he pops
I haven't. I haven't.
And then to find out
Oh, you haven't seen the finale, Tristan?
No, I have no idea what's going on. I'm at least 5 episodes from the end.
Oh my goodness. Just give it up, because I just want to ruin it. It has been
spoiler, y'all. We about to spoil it. Tristan, close your ears if you don't want to.
Tristan, close your ears. Take your headphones out.
I was so happy when they killed Lamar, because that man is a menace. I was so mad when he beat the brakes off of my girl Cash Doll. I was like, somebody come in now.
Somebody had to get his ass out of here.
Yes, because she did not deserve it.
I did not think they was going to fucking kill Kato. Oh my God.
Me either. Because he was whipped. He was in love. I'm like, he's not going to kill her for real. He just acting like he is. But
then I trusted her though, because she helped them. So I did trust her. She did do some snake shit in the beginning though. So I think that's why he had to kill her. Like, girl, we started this off on the wrong foot.
Right.
But that scene had me emotional. Like,
it did.
Damn. And then the boy was so sad riding down the street. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that was a lot. How do you feel about the parents trying to take some money?
his little daddy. First of all, you complain about when they wanted to help out with their quote unquote dirty money, but then when the boy gets a settlement that should be solely his, you trying to put your hand in the cookie jar. Like, no,
right? He's like, we deserve that money.
Yeah, but no. This is an out for him. So why would you take away money that's legit just because you mad about how he went about in the first place? Like it just didn't make sense. But it's like, greedy parents, greedy daddy,
Yeah, and I like that the mom was like, listen, this is his money and he has to make these decisions. And I was very, I knew he was going to get out the game along like 4 episodes ago. I kept feeling it, especially when his mama was trying to pressure his baby mom. You can see that he's not, he wanted to be a part of that game, but it's not really for him.
He's not built like Meech. Like,
killing people and doing all that shit. He's not with the shits.
Exactly.
Like, also, he is so fine. And it took me about 3 episodes to realize he was from Grownish.
Yes, he's from Grownish and he plays on All American. He plays on All American.
Yes, he plays on All American, the stepson or whatever son. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, oh, he is so fine. But that I really enjoyed that episode. I think that BMF has had a very great season.
Yeah, in the very beginning, in the first episode where he got shot in the eye, I'm like, dang, it's like Chris Brown and Stomp the Yard where he got killed.
He got shot early.
I'm like, he's not even a part of this series, but then they kept going like, oh, okay, he is.
Is it messed up that every time we don't got his glasses on, we trying to stare at his eye? Even though I know in real life, he didn't get shot. I was wondering. Because they be talking shit about it. And I'm like, well, it looks normal to me. Like, you ain't giving the Forrest Whitaker.
That mug was wondering in this last episode. I could see it.
No, I ain't never. I was thinking it was going to be full Forrest Whitaker, like around town.
I'm really mad you, and then double down on it too. Double down on it. You dropped it in.
I to see the eye moving like that.
The way she just stopped that shot, the way she just did it, yo.
She said the full Forrest Whitaker. Oh, okay. Funny thing. Forrest Whitaker has a brother, right? And damn, it looks just like him. And
what's you made him the eye thing too?
Low-key, yes. And it's crazy.
His name really Wood?
What the hell are you talking about? What?
Forrest and Wood. Get it? Duh.
Okay. All right.
Sean thinks it's funny.
She believed herself. Is his name really Wood? Girl, what the hell are you talking about? Did nobody say that? But I mean, if you didn't already and you didn't listen and you don't care about spoilers, please go watch it.
Right. We try to warn you though. Spoiler.
Oh, that's not the same person?
No, that is his brother. And they are not twins.
Wait, who's who? So his brother, the one with the glasses on.
No, Forrest is the one with the glasses on. His brothers are the one on the right.
Now wait a minute. They are
no.
Hold on.
Hell no, you just.
Yeah, I know, right? I had no idea.
Send it to the chat.
Okay.
Why his brother look like Kyle Macy from That's So Raven?
I mean, that's one. No, he has 3 brothers. He has 3 brothers.
Oh, okay.
So that might be the young one. That might be the young one.
Let me find out. That's Kyle Macy brother, his older cousin.
I mean, if it is, he's in good company. I mean, you got.
Shit. That is so funny. Last show I want to talk about. The Housewives of Potomac reunion. It is not over yet, but did you watch?
Did Nikki come through
this week's episode?
So yes,
Nikki did come through for the last 10 minutes, which I knew they was going to do. We done had the whole damn episode waiting on Nicki Minaj, but when I tell you in that last 10 minutes, I already know next episode is going to be crazy because she was
There's more
in on the last 10
There's
minutes.
One more. It was 4 parts, so next week is the last part. She didn't even give Ashley a chance to say hello back before she started going in on Ashley.
Going in on her, Ashley, But I also was very surprised that Candace took up for Ashley, although she was very correct.
Right,
and I do believe that though. Like, even if I don't fuck with you, if you're right, you're right.
You're right.
And Ashley, this is Ashley's job.
Right.
Like, everybody can't take off work for a long time period.
Right.
You know?
My thing was, how'd you feel about Wendy and the receipts and the whole like print out the cost?
It's been done, girl. Do something else.
Yeah.
Like, try a new
She printed out her
We've
emails
done
or
that
text
already.
messages. What did she print out?
She printed out text message on a board that was blown up to where like the camera could see, Andy could see. But even Andy was like, "This isn't landing like you thought it would. Like this proves nothing."
It didn't prove anything, and it wasn't anything special. Like, what are you showing us this for?
Right.
Okay. All right. Duly noted.
Yeah, But it was a very interesting, and how they were getting in on Michael about how he be wanting to fuck Juan and all that.
Because it's like, true. Oh
Giselle said, true.
Michael want to take Juan away.
What?
But
What
you
is
really
going
can't
on this
compare.
show?
You can't compare Michael to what's Mia's husband, crazy ass G.
Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, I like G.
The house husbands are gay too. What's going on now?
No, they're
Michael
not.
is.
I mean, they're not openly gay.
Michael is. Michael has too many indiscretion with women. Men. Michael is.
I don't know.
Okay, Mike. All right. If that's his business, that's what you like.
He is. He can come find me.
I met him really, really inappropriate.
I met him at Ashley in DC. What's that place in DC that we used to go to?
We was there. That was doing karaoke or some shit. No, it was
the
bar
games. The place that the games
upstairs. They got the games upstairs, and it's like the dance floor and a couple games downstairs.
Yeah, it's in Chinatown.
You mean Penn Social?
Yes, Penn Social. They was in Penn Social one day. This is like when Housewives was on first. I think it was on the first season. I think I was with Sean. I was with y'all.
You was with me.
Yeah. And I was like, girl, look, I was like, that's Ashley and Michael Darby or whatever. So I was like, hey, I watched the show. It's pretty cool. And then she was like, oh, thank you. And kind of like dismissed. I'm like, I'm trying to help you out, trying to let you know that like people out here watching, but like
heard it all before.
Right. Like, girl, bye. But yeah.
Okay.
But I'm really excited for the last part, the fourth and final, because they're saving the best drama for last. So it's gonna be some very, very interesting tea.
Got to give
but
credit
that
to
is
the
all the
machine.
TV that I have to talk about, the TV and the music for today. I know that was a lot. We usually don't have that much, but woo, it's been a good week for TV and music.
Yeah, it has.
But there is one more thing we have to give a little bit of shine to before we get out of here, though. Will Smith, Venus, Serena, their father, King Richard. It just dropped. If you guys haven't seen it, please go and see it. Will Smith, definitely, when we went to go see Will Smith, he played the trailer, like the second trailer. He dropped it then and had been talking about it. So he really been ramping up, and I was excited about it just to see what happened. And honestly, that's a crazy fucking story. Their father, low-key, maybe Nostradamus. Like low-key, I'm upset that my father did not get a plan together for me and my brother. He should have 2 basketball stars right now, or 2 wrestlers or something. Like the dad wrote all this shit down. He said, I planned it. It's just gonna go just like it is, baby, because I planned it. I said, what?
The way he was talking was throwing me off. I've never actually heard their father speak, so that's why like I was just like, huh?
I mean, he from Louisiana, so he probably could sound like that. But he just talked. He said, look, baby, I planned it. I'll tell you right now. He said, look, I got the next 2 of them right here. They plays great. All right. And they got Michael Jordan, and he was all into it. He clearly really wanted this role, and it spoke to him. But this is how it happened. Like, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm just saying the mother, the father, the whole family, talk about tennis. When they say you're gonna need an army, they had one. They were all ready to help them be great. Like, it was the tracks were laid. All they had to do was get on and drive them, and they made it happen, man. They made a way. So shout out to him, King Richard. Go check that out. Let's put that in the record books. Let's try and get some streams on that.
Yeah, definitely support us on HBO Max and in theaters. So y'all go out and support. Venus and Serena did executive produce it, so they had their hand in telling their father's story.
Absolutely. And it's on Will Smith's Westbrook is doing this. Yeah.
Yep.
They're doing the movie.
Yep. So let's go support Black people. Come on, we room for everybody Black.
That's right. Ain't gonna make no more movies if we don't go see them. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yep, y'all. But is it that time that we gotta get out of here, y'all? Is it really that time?
Yeah. We love y'all, but we got things to do.
We do. We got a couple, 1 or 2 things to do. I gotta cook dinner a little bit. What'd you say? What just happened? Why you whispering? Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
I did. Sean heard it.
What's his name? What's his name? You can say his name.
Masterclass
podcast. We love y'all.
Bye.
Oh God. Peace out, y'all. And remember, the party may change, but the vibe remains the same. We out here.
Later.
Hey family, thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode. We'll be back next week with part 2 of Nathaniel Turner, our mental health professionals episode. So until then, stay safe and sane this holiday weekend.
From everyone here at the Millennial Masterclass podcast, happy Thanksgiving.